Now listen.
Yeah, that's different. That's a pop song.
I'm Elvis Presley.
Here is Elvis.
Welcome to the Elvis Presley special.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Elvis Presley Show.
Dear viewers, everything in my videos is scripted. What you are now watching was written and recorded about a week prior to the release of the video. So I already know that this video contains, unfortunately, just a few news items. Therefore, I have decided to put something different in the video to beef up the playing time. It may not be a news item, but it has, of course, something to do with Elvis's career. The item will appear automatically if you watch the video in its entirety. If you are a regular viewer of my channel, I strongly advise you to at least come back next month, because I have a confession to make and I have a very important announcement. I know it's a huge cliffhanger, but at this moment I cannot say more than this. But first, the Elvis Presley News Report of May 2025! Those who were the first to buy tickets for the Elvis Evolution hologram show received an extremely annoying message. The makers of the show, Lay It Reality, sent an email to ticket buyers informing them that the premiere of the show has to be postponed until July 18. Ticket buyers will of course be given the opportunity to choose a new date, but all additional costs incurred, such as travel and accommodation costs, will not be reimbursed. This message naturally led to a lot of unrest and disbelief among ticket buyers. A very small group of fans have already started using the word scam, but I wouldn't go that far. After all, Lay It Reality currently has two successful shows in London: Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds and The Gunpowder Plot. Elvis Evolution will be their third branch. The reason given for postponing the show to a later date is due to the bankruptcy of a third-party supplier, which has led to unforeseen complications. I can imagine that this decision, just 4 weeks prior to the original opening date of May 10, was not taken lightly. I think it was either this decision or otherwise a total cancellation of the show. For the early ticket buyers, it is an extremely annoying message, but in my view the show will premiere really on July 18, and it will be a show that goes down in history as something that will set the standard of hologram shows in the 21st century. To be continued. Last month I showed you the logo of Elvis Week 2025, and now they released the program. Two things stand out for me. The first is that the relationship between Elvis Presley Enterprises and Priscilla has cooled, because once again Linda Thompson and Jerry Schilling are the key guests of Elvis Week 2025. The second thing is that I get the feeling that Elvis Week is aimed at fans who have a big wallet. Here are the prices of what they are asking for the packages that are on offer. The follow-up to Priscilla's 1989 book Elvis and Me is titled Softly As I Leave You, Life After Elvis, and it will be released on September 23, 2025. This book is written in collaboration with award-winning college professor and writer Mary Jane Ross. The 336 pages hardback book will cost you $30. In the December 2024 video, I reported about the release of the 3-CD box with the Girl Happy Sessions. In May of 2025, collector's label Follow That Dream Records will give this CD set a vinyl companion with the double LP of the Girl Happy soundtrack. This limited edition double album is based on the original UK release and features the Red Dot RCA Victor label. The 30 tracks set includes the original soundtrack masters, studio outtakes, extended versions and bonus track outtakes of You'll Be Gone. In the Elvis Presley News Report of December 2023, I reported on the release of the Blue Christmas duet between country singer Kane Brown with Elvis Presley. Now, a year and a half later, the RIAA has certified this version with gold for selling over 500,000 physical and digital copies in the USA. Quite recently, two songwriters of songs that were recorded by Elvis have died, both at the age of 86. The most famous of these two is Johnny Tillotson, who, as a singer, had a huge hit in the early 1960s with Poetry in Motion. As a songwriter, he wrote and recorded It Keeps Right On a Hurtin', which Elvis recorded in 1969 for his From Elvis in Memphis album. Also, Troy Seals passed away. Elvis recorded two of his compositions. The first one, titled There's a Honky Tonk Angel, was released in 1975 on the Promised Land album and was also the B-side in 1979 of his posthumous single to promote the Our Memories of Elvis album. That single peaked at number 6 on the Hot Country Singles chart. Elvis also recorded the Troy Seals song Pieces of My Life for his Today album. The song was also paired with Bringing It Back for a single release and peaked at number 33 on the Billboard Country chart in 1975. Elvis also attempted to record the Troy Seals song We Had It All, but he gave up when he felt that he did not know how to improve on Waylon Jennings' 1973 hit version. Sadly, no tape of this has ever been found, but it has been documented in the Complete Recording Sessions book of Ernest Jurgensen. In my opinion, RCA Records missed some opportunities for Elvis to have more hit singles. I would like to take this opportunity to name 3 songs that, in my opinion, were commercially strong enough to achieve a top position in the charts of yesteryear. Unfortunately, the people at the top of RCA Records either didn't see these opportunities or simply missed them. Because the Viva Las Vegas soundtrack consisted of a limited number of songs, RCA chose to release the title track as a single and 4 other songs from the movie as a 4-track EP. Because RCA did not take into account the decreasing popularity of the format, the soundtrack EP peaked in Billboard Hot 100 at number 92. It was the lowest charting of a Presley release to this point in his career. In my opinion, Come On Everybody from the EP was a commercially strong song. The single of Viva Las Vegas only made it to number 29, which was at that time disappointing. I would have released Come On Everybody as a single with the conviction that the song was strong enough for a top ranking. In the early 1960s, the music industry discovered that Germany was becoming a very strong emerging market. Many artists, therefore, recorded German-language songs at the time. Think of the Beatles, Cliff Richard, the Beach Boys and Helen Shapiro. With this in mind, RCA released the German-inspired Wooden Heart as a single in Europe to promote the GI Blues movie. In my opinion, the release of Wooden Heart in 1960 with Elvis singing to a hand puppet was also a way for RCA Records to separate Elvis from his rock and roll image and give him a more mainstream image. Many fans think that Shopping Around was the strongest song on the GI Blues movie soundtrack. Even today in the vintage rock and roll scene, it is a song that is played regularly. I therefore see Shopping Around as a missed opportunity for a high hit rating. But for me, the song Suspicion is still number one in terms of missed opportunities. It had hit written all over it when Elvis recorded it in 1962, and the song was initially considered for a single release. Unfortunately, the song ended up as an album track on the 1962 Potluck album. 2 years later, after hearing Elvis's version of the song, Elvis sound-alike Terry Stafford released his version, which soon became a million seller. By the time the Terry Stafford single reached the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 in April 1964, Elvis's original version was given a Rush US single release with Kiss Me Quick as the flip side, but it all was too late. And besides the belated release, it was Kiss Me Quick that became the favorite side in the USA. However, in England the song was released at the end of 1976 as a single to promote the Elvis in Demand album. 15 years after the recording of this song, it peaked at number 9 in February of 1977 in England. Now that shows to me the hit potential of the song, and to me that is proof that RCA missed a huge opportunity in 1962 to get a worldwide hit single for Elvis. I would love to hear your reactions, and therefore feel free to express your thoughts in the comments section. It's trivia time, and in last month's video I asked you what was Elvis's physically best-selling single during his lifetime worldwide. And you could get extra points if you could name the B-side as well. The answer is, of course, It's Now or Never, which was released in the USA in July of 1960 and, according to Wikipedia, has sold 20 million copies worldwide. The B-side contained the song A Mess of Blues. However, in England, A Mess of Blues was already released as a single on its own and peaked at number 2 in September of 1960. Now that was the reason why in England they chose to pair It's Now or Never with Make Me Know It when the single was released in October of 1960. Trivia question for this month is a listening question. I am going to play you 3 tiny snippets of Elvis songs. And the trivia question is, what do these 3 songs have in common? Place your answer in the comments below. Good luck, everybody! On April 15, 2025, television personality Wink Martindale died at the age of 91. Wink Martindale and Elvis already met at the very beginning of their mutual careers and became friends ever since. I have never met the good man in person, but from what I see and hear, he strikes me as a kind and sincere man.
I met Elvis Presley on a hot July night in 1954. I was morning man at WHBQ Radio in the Chiska Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. I did the morning show called Clock Watchers. At night, from 9 to midnight, we had a wild DJ on the air who played black music for white kids in those days. They called it race music, rhythm and blues music. I heard this commotion coming out of the studio where Dewey Phillips was doing his show called Red Hot and Blue. So I excused myself from my friends and I walked into the studio, and I discovered that Sam Phillips, founder of Sun Records, had walked in with an acetate, not a finished record, but an acetate of a recording he had made just 2 hours earlier by a truck driver for Crown Electric Company whose name was Elvis Presley. And he wanted Dewey Phillips to test it on the air to see if he had anything. So Dewey Phillips played it. The switchboard lit up. It was called That's All Right Mama. And I was the one delegated by Sam Phillips to call Elvis's parents, who lived in low-rent housing out in East Memphis called Lauderdale Courts. They were very poor. So I got on the phone and I called the Presley residence, and Gladys, Mrs. Presley, answered the phone. And they were listening, of course, and they were very excited about the way the audience was reacting to That's All Right Mama, Elvis's first record. And I said, Mrs. Presley, Dewey would like me to come down to the studio. He wants to interview it. Where is he? She said, well, he was so nervous about his record being played, he went to see a double feature Western. So they got in their truck and they went over to the Suzors and walked up and down the dark aisles. And there was Elvis sitting all by himself watching this Western movie. They whispered to him about the excitement being generated by That's All Right Mama. He, of course, was excited. They came down to the station, and Dewey put him on the air and interviewed him. It was his very first interview as a pro. I met him that night, and he remained my friend until the day he died. If he was your friend, he was your friend till the day you died. I mean, he would always be your friend and do anything for you that you needed him to do. He was that kind of a person. Yes, I do. My wife, Sandy, who I've been married to for 44 years, took me to Las Vegas to see Elvis's show at the International Hotel on my birthday in 1976. And he knew we were coming. He was doing 2 shows a night at that time at the International. And between shows, he wanted Sandy and me to come backstage to his dressing room to chat. And we did. I remember so well him making this statement, gee, Wink, look how well you've done. Look how successful you've become. I'm so proud of you. And we jokingly said many times since then, what's wrong with this picture? Elvis Presley telling me how well I've done? Well, we walked out of there that night very sad because he was already big, he was overweight, he was pasty looking, he didn't look in good health. And I remember so well saying to Sandy as we walked out of the International Hotel, Sandy, that's the last time we'll ever see him alive. When we got back to our hotel, we closed the door behind us and we just broke down and we both cried because of what we had just witnessed. And we tried to put the best face on it, but that was the last time that we spoke and the last time we ever saw him alive.
That was the news for this time. Check back next month if you want to keep up with all the latest Elvis news. Until then, have a happy Elvis Presley Day.
You have a happy, have a happy, have a happy.
Did I hear someone say something about Elvis?